To understand this story better, you need to check from part 1. Okay, where do I start from? That was what she said, because she had told me that she wants to tell me a story. And she was like, let us start from where she was younger. And the first time she was molested was when she was 6. My jaw dropped. I've heard stories, I have seen movies, but this is real life. I tried to maintain calmness, and then she went on. She said her dad worked far from home, and he only came home once in a month. And her mom worked so hard, like her mom hugged the entire day and only comes at night very tired. So what she did was, after school she would play with her neighbors. And I was like, okay. Then she said her neighbors were girls, but they had a brother, so it was one boy amongst girls. And when it was just the both of them, the neighbor would come to bring her close and he would touch her inappropriately. And I had to ask, how old was the neighbor? How old was this brother at the time? And she was like, she cannot remember his age, but it was in SS2, so he should be around 15. I was like, wow, okay. Then she was like, she couldn't tell her mom because on a normal note, she got flogged for the slightest issue without warning. Her mom was so strict, so she didn't know what to tell her mom or what not to tell her mom, and that was it. Then life happened. Her mom died when she was 10, so it means that this went on for about 4 years. Her mom died when she was 10, and she's the only child of her mother. So after her mom died, she had to live with her aunt. Her aunt came to their house to pick her, and she was like, that was where her problem originally started. So in my mind, I'm thinking, your problem did not start when somebody was harassing you. She was like, no, she's just about to tell me where the story began. So I was like, okay. Then she was like, she has never felt her auntie's love throughout when she was in her auntie's house. She never felt her auntie's love. Her aunt always sees her as a disturbance. She got yelled at the slightest things. She threatened every time she does maybe something very simple in the house. Her aunt will threaten to stop paying her school fees. And she thought her mom was strict, but her aunt was wicked. I had to ask, what about your dad? Because the dad was not dead. It was only the mom that was dead. And she was like, there was a time she got his number and called him. He told her to manage, that he has nothing to offer. She should just be obedient to her aunt and her husband, and her aunt's husband, that's her uncle. And if she wants to still go to school, by school now, secondary school and university, she should be obedient. And I think, according to her, she said that she believes that her dad told her aunt, or aunt knew about it, because that day she slept hungry. At that moment I was about to ask that, does the aunt have husband? But then she said that the aunt, so she had a uncle, so the aunt was married. And she was like, at this period too, the auntie just gave birth, so the aunt had a baby. And I was like, okay. I know I've said a lot of okays, but this story is, you're just wondering, somebody did this, a human being went through this. Then she was like, her uncle was really nice to her. Her uncle was very nice. One day when her auntie was not around, he came to meet her and he told her, at first her uncle was nice to her, so he told her that she was very beautiful, and she was very happy, because that's the last person that told her she was beautiful was the person that harassed her. Now again, somebody's telling her she's beautiful. Obviously no one tells her that, not her mom, not her dad, not her auntie. So she was happy to even hear that from a guy, and she said thank you. And he told her that he likes her and he would like to prove it. At this time she was confused because she didn't know what proving it meant. And overall, she didn't know what it meant to be loved. He told her to follow him. Then he took her to their own room. He started touching her inappropriately and slept with her, and told her that if she tells anyone about it, that's the end of her school. I know I was so mad because when she was telling me this, I was so mad because why is it only school that they can threaten her with? Apparently, she said that the reason why they could threaten her with school is because her mentality growing up was that when she grows up, when she goes to school, all these issues will be over. When she goes to school, she will become a big person. That was what she grew up knowing. So everything she tried to endure because she felt like her salvation is coming. The school is coming to save her. When she gets to school, she'll become somebody big in future. So her uncle told her that she must not tell anybody. Then I asked again, how old was she at this time? She said she was 13. I shouted Jesus. That was why I said Jesus. Lord. This is enough to traumatize someone for life. From that time, she said the man continued to sleep with her and she couldn't tell anybody because 1, nobody would believe her. 2, she didn't want to tell anybody because she was ashamed of herself. She hated her body, she hated herself, she hated what it made her do, and she felt disgusted about herself. She didn't like her skin, she didn't like herself. That's another thing. Another thing was she didn't want to stop schooling, so she couldn't tell anybody. And there was this time that she got pregnant. She told me she was 14 then, and she got pregnant. And she had known, from so many things that the symptoms of pregnancy is morning sickness, missed periods, and so things like that. So she told her uncle about it, and her uncle did not even say anything to her. Her uncle just, after school, her uncle went to wait for her in school. Someone that has never ever come to carry her. I mean, he was nice to her, but he has never come to pick her from school. After school, was waiting for her. Then he took her to a chemist, a big chemist, and she said in the chemist shop there was an inner room. There was an inner room, and he took her there. And in that place, she was chained to the bed. Her mouth was gagged, no analgesic. And that was where she had her first abortion. At this point, I didn't realize I was crying already. A 14-year-old girl. Because life has been cruel to this girl. A 14-year-old. And she was like, it happened 3 times more. That was not the... So, wait, he aborted for you 3 more times. She said yes. And the last time, that means the 4th time, the last time was when her auntie herself noticed that she was pregnant. And because auntie got the pregnancy test for her, and auntie asked her, how did you get pregnant? And she explained that it was her husband, it was her uncle, her auntie's husband. And guess what? She said her auntie beat her for seducing her husband. Her auntie beat life out of her. She said, I've never been more shocked in my life. This thing is clearly your husband's fault. And it's because this girl is not, I don't understand. She said the auntie beat her, and by herself, the auntie took her for the abortion. By the auntie's self, the 4th time, he took her for the abortion. And that was where it broke me at this point, because how can somebody be wicked? The funniest part? Her auntie and uncle were deacon and deaconesses in church. Her pastor at home where they were attending always preached against sin. Imagine that you are aborting, you are doing different things in that kind of place, in that kind of environment, and the pastor was constantly condemning sin. So it was a reminder that she was disgusted, she's dirty, she's going to hell. She didn't know what to do. And you see, after the last abortion that happened, her auntie told her that she cannot continue to accommodate her in her house, that she wants to scatter her home. Honestly, I don't know how auntie, I know that I don't really know the best way auntie could have handled this, but abortion was not the key. Do you understand? she informed her daddy, and her daddy came. Her daddy beat her. Her daddy called her names, reminded her that there was no way he was going to take care of her because he's managing, he has no money. It was so much. Then I had to ask, like, how did you finish secondary school? Then she said she had just finished secondary school when she got sent out. And I was like, who paid for her bike? She was like, her uncle and her aunt, they paid for everything. So, they did her a favor by paying for her school fees, but the wickedness, I was trying to match up if they want to be wicked, they should not be wicked to the aspect of school now. But at the same time, well, at least they paid for her school. Then she said when she got to her dad's house, she realized that her dad has a wife and 2 children. And she said when she got home, tears flowed from her eyes, because this was the same dad that told her that he has no money to take care of her. This was the same dad that watched her aunt come to pick her from the house as if he does not have money. This was the same dad that she called that they are maltreating her, and the daddy did not say anything. That same dad has a wife and 2 children that he treats well. You see, she felt she was not deserving of love, because there is no way that, how will somebody hate her this much? She felt hated, and her only consolation was that she will soon leave the house. Once she's given admission, she will leave the house. She didn't really have interactions with that second wife like that before she left for school. So because of the way her dad was always complaining that he does not have money for her upkeep, that after school fees, that's the end. She was like, she inflated the school fees, so she doubled the amount. I don't know what the school fees was in our own 100 level. I don't know what the school fees was, but because we are not in the same department. But let's say the school fees was 100,000, she multiplied it by 2, do you get? And she used the extra money to start a business. That's smart of her, right? Then that was how she was selling perfume in 100 level. And it was from that one that she was getting money to eat, money for her upkeep in school, like that. And she didn't still feel better about herself, because the constant reminder of everything she has gone through, she felt disgusted, she felt sad, she felt angry, she felt dirty, and she was tired because she knows that she's not okay. So she knew she was not okay. She went to see a pastor because she felt the bad luck wasn't normal. So she had to see a pastor, and the pastor told her that the forces that tried to kill her mother at a young age are also after her, and that's the reason she has been experiencing disappointment and failure and hatred everywhere she has gone to, and that she should sow a seed of 100,000 naira, so that seed, and the seed for the seed to move God to even start doing something for her. And I had to ask, is this man actually a pastor? Because when something's already going in that direction, she was like, yes, now even till today the man is a pastor. Then he told her again that she should fast for 3 days and she should come and see him in his house. So on the 3rd day, she got to his house, and he told her that the Lord said he should sleep with her. Hey, at this point, Lord Jesus, have mercy upon us. The sad thing is that this is the reality of a lot of people. He said because he is anointed, that's why God gave him the assignment, and the moment that is done, she will be free from the evil spell. So the pastor slept with her and took her 100k, and when she got back home, there was no changes. She still felt bad. She still felt like, in fact, she felt worse. She still felt like somebody's after her. She still felt hated. This was something she felt about herself. She was just done. She was tired. And she went back to meet the pastor, and nothing has changed. She went back, then the pastor stopped seeing her, and at some point he told the junior pastors to threaten her that if she ever comes back, he's going to curse her with the anointing on his head. She said it was in that moment she realized that she had been scammed. There was no money for business again. She felt used. She felt worse about herself. She hated herself. You see, in this kingdom, we need to be careful about the people that we submit to. follow me for part 3 and you hear the rest of the story. Thank you for listening this far. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.